Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Uh, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi and very good morning to everyone. First of all, Alhamdulillah, thank you very much to everyone for attending our session this morning on leading culture transformation, the 7E approach. And as what I think have been briefed by our introducer just now. Inshallah, I'll be the speaker or the facilitator for the next 1.5 hours. And we hope that, inshallah, with our session today, everyone will be able to learn, and probably not just to learn from our session, but also hopefully we'll take this opportunity also to share our experience, to share our knowledge. I'm sure everybody that is attending this session today also have your own knowledge, your own experience, especially in the context of managing change, probably in the context of your organization. So let me introduce. I think our MC already introduced me as a facilitator. Just to share a bit more about myself. I've been there with the group, Profess Consulting Group, for more than 30 years. Actually, Profess Consulting Group, or now Asia is Consulting. Today we are with Asia is Consulting. Have been in the industry for the last uh, since 1988. We started in 1988, where our core at that time was training. And of course, we do a lot of training before, but now we are more into training and also consulting, inshallah. Okay, so before we proceed, before we go to the actual content to today, I think it's important also for us to know each other. I'm sure we have about 25 participants at the moment. I'm sure you also like to know who are our other friends in this group, because we're going to interact. We're going to, it's not going to be like a one-way session to only for today. Yeah, it's also going to be a sharing session. We hope that you also will be able to share your knowledge. So it's just because of that, I think it's also for me to know who are you in terms of who you are, in terms of your role, from which organization that you're from. Yeah? So that whenever we share and also we discuss today, we try to relate to your situation, inshallah. You see how whether whatever we're going to discuss for the next 1 hour, it will be also relevant in the context of your organization. So it's, if possible, can everybody write in the chat? Yeah, probably you just since some of you, I can see here somebody just write your short name. Probably you just give your full name. You're probably from which organization, and also probably your current role, whether what is your role in the context organization, and plus, okay, I think we start with this first. Can just also to get everybody to share your name, so that we know who you are in the context of our session today. Can you please write in uh, the chat? Okay, we have Nadia from Run Hill. Which Run Hill? Huh? Is it Run Hill SAJ? Okay. Okay, we have from Run Hill. Anybody else? Can we have others also to write down your name and from which organization? Oh, Bersekutu. Okay. Okay, anybody else? Kitian from Science. So Science Sarawak. Okay, good. Okay. Shamira from Kasias. What is Kasias? Is it a consulting firm, or is it organization with firm, or is it like company? We have Shamila, MBA student. Okay, welcome everybody. Okay, okay, B, eh? HCSU is what, eh? Is it like it's a French bank? Okay, thank you. Okay, we have from Gading Berhad. Okay, Executive HR, good. We have Amanah Raya Investment, Legal. Okay, so you have quite a diversified roles in this our group today. We're from HR, we have also from legal, good, from change management. Uh, okay, who else in the group? Kalpana, okay, career. Oh, ex HR, eh? Okay, good. Okay, anybody else want to share? Mumtaz from Asia Pacific Higher Learning as facility executive. Okay, right. Thank you. We can use to continue to share yourself about more information about yourself, and I hope that we can use the information that we share this morning about ourselves also to maybe exchange information, exchange some knowledge in the next 1 hour. Okay. Next, I also like to know because I think you have since you have selected, we have so many programs or many training session offered over NTW, our National Training Week. But you choose this session on 7 East of as the organization change. So maybe I like to also to know what would be your expectation? What would be, at least maybe you can write down one thing that you want to learn that you expect or you hope you'll be able to get from our session this morning for a short 1 hour session. So anything that you like to be specific in terms of areas or maybe aspect that you want to for us to focus in the next 1 hour. Can you just share some of the, well, at least one lah, probably one of the things that you like to know or you like to learn from our session this morning. Can you write it down? And you'd be like to share maybe one or two that you like to learn why you attend, because I'm sure when you choose to attend this session, you have your expectation or you have some wish that you hope that you can get from our session this morning. Ada? Tak ada? Not yet. It's okay. Anyway, I just want to still want to do another round of sound check. So I hope and I wish that everybody can hear my voice very well. Yes, is it? Yes or no? Okay, good. All right. Thank you. So, Alhamdulillah, inshallah, for the next 1 hour, what we're going to do, because this is a very short session, normally we have this session for about 2 days. Yeah. So, I'm going to try to compress whatever we have a 2 day session into this 1 hour. It's going to be like just effectively, we have only 1 hour, and probably after that, we're going to have some discussion also. But you can stop me along the way. If you have any question or you have anything you want to interrupt, it's okay. You can just stop me in case you want to maybe we ask question, probably want to share your own personal knowledge and experience so that we'll be able to learn more from this program in the next 1 hour. Okay, my objective in this program for the next 1 hour is very short, it's very short session. What we hope and I hope that you get number one, of course, we're going to go some of the basic thing lah, in terms of to understand what is a culture transformation is all about and how is it different from maybe a normal change management program. Yeah? And what would be and also this morning we're going to discuss a little bit about some of the critical success factors. There are a lot, I think, especially we have our friend here doing MBA. I think maybe your areas of interest of is on change management of the organizational transformation. Probably we can also discuss some of the studies have been done on the areas of organizational transformation. And more importantly, at the end of the day, I hope that you'll be able to explain, to know when we talk about the seven approach, the seven E's. We are talking about the seven E's approach in the enhancing the organizational culture. So what are the seven E's, and maybe how we can discuss, because it's the time is too short. Maybe we can just take some of the examples of how seven E's can be implemented in the context of your organization. All right. Okay. I'll try to go quickly on some of the concepts, and after that, maybe if you have any questions or you need certain clarification, inshallah, we can discuss further later, inshallah. Okay, I like to start with change. I'm sure everybody, and I'm sure all participants also agree with me that in order for us to be more successful, in order for organization to be more excellence, yeah, to be achieving our mission, achieving our goals, we need to change. We need to change. So Winston Churchill, for us to improve, we need to change. Yeah? And to be excellent, we need to change often. So because of that, I think all organizations, regardless of whether we are from government, whether you are from the private sector, we have to help our organization to change and to improve, and to keep improving, to do a continuous improvement until we achieve a higher level of achievement in the performance of organization, inshallah. Yeah? Okay, Tony Robbins said, if you change nothing, nothing will change. Yeah. So if you change nothing, nothing will change. Meaning that if you don't do anything, you just keep all whatever that we have in the organization at the status quo, we don't do anything to change, then of course there's nothing also you are doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Of course, we are not going to achieve that. So because of that, all organizations need to do something, or need to improve, need to identify what are the areas of change and what are the change needed in order for us to achieve a better result. In the Al-Quran, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says in the Al-Quran, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqaumin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. This one in translation, in bahasa. Sungguhnya Allah tidak akan mengubah satu kaum sampai mereka mengubah apa yang ada pada diri mereka sendiri. Meaning that if we don't do anything to change what is within ourselves. What is within ourselves? Maybe our brain, our mindset, our intelligence, the level of knowledge that we have. So we will not be able to achieve something better in our life. Maybe also in the context of organization, also we have been not able to achieve something better in our organizational performance. So because of that, I'm sure, and I think everybody will agree with me. In order for us to achieve better results for organization, we need to change. But the question is, what need to be changed? What need to be changed? If we want our organization to achieve a better results, maybe as a business, we want our organization to achieve better profitability. Maybe we want our organization to achieve better revenue, or probably want to, in the context of our operation, we want to our customers to have more satisfaction, higher level of customer satisfaction, or probably if you are in HR, you want to have your staff or your employee to be more satisfied, to be more engaged in the organization. So the question is, when you go back to the organization perspective, what are the aspects that organization must change? So what need to change in order for organization to achieve a better result, to be more excellence in achieving, have better performance and to grow better in the context of organization. Before I share my perspective, maybe you anybody like to share first? Maybe you can write down. What do you think the aspect, the organization must change or must improve in order to achieve better results, right? In order to achieve our mission, in order to achieve our goals, in order to achieve our performance. Okay, can we write down some of the probably the aspect that you think organization must change or organization must improve in order to achieve a better result. And can I have some feedback from everybody? Please write down what do you think areas of change or aspect that must be changed in order to achieve better result. Clear direction, good. Meaning that you have to change the people, process, platform. Okay. Uh, Clear direction, better incentive. Okay, good. All right. Okay. What else? Attitude. Okay, Nadia, you said that it must change the attitude. Okay. All right. What else we have? Good communication channel, meaning we have to improve the way we communicate internally, right? Good, good. Anything else? Anything else you have in your list or in your knowledge or your experience when you look at the organization? What do you think areas must be changed or must be improved to achieve in order for us to achieve our mission, our vision, our goals in the context of organization? Anything else? Like to yeah, anybody like to share? Anything else apart from what we mentioned so far? No, that's all. Automation system. Okay, good. Employee engagement on the people side. Okay, right, good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I think it's also important. It's good for us to share this morning. I'm sure since some of you, I think some of you this morning you watch World Cup final. So macam mana anybody you watch the final World Cup? Macam mana? Argentina menang kan? Okay, sorry. Tahu Spain. All right. Okay. Uh, so thank you for sharing. Maknanya we look from our organization, we can look at maybe from various perspective. I just like to share for this morning. Maybe there are a lot of other research that have been done on the organizational performance, but probably for this morning, I just like to share one of the quite to me is quite classic and got been some one of the model that have been used by various organizations. It's a McKinsey 7S. I think most of you or although some of you already heard about this McKinsey 7S. McKinsey, by the way, is now one world number one, one of the top strategy management consultant in the world. So according to McKinsey, they say that there are 7 areas or 7 aspects that organization must change or must improve in order to achieve the better result or to achieve the goal or to achieve the vision and mission of the organization. So what are they? Number one is about strategy. So our organization, in order organization to achieve better result, we need to formulate, we need to have a good strategy. So I'm not going to go to detail this one, just to mention some of the aspect. And number two is about structure. It's about how we organize our organization, whether the structure support the strategy. Sometimes our strategy, for example, nowadays, most organizations we have, for example, the digital transformation as a strategy. But in the structure, is there any department or any unit that is taking care of this part of the digital transformation? Number three is about system. Some of you mentioned about system. I think Carl mentioned about automation, about system. So of course, nowadays we talk about innovation, talk about technology. Now already we talk about AI and how this technology can support the organization strategy and implement the strategy. And the next one is about staff. Of course, if you don't have the right people, if you don't have the right staff in the organization, we are not going to have, most of the team probably will not be able to implement. We have to make sure that staff is fit to the job. We have to, at least the profile of the staff is relevant or is suitable to the job that has been assigned to them. Number five is about styles. Styles to talk about leadership. How leaders, what the way, how the leaders play their role, whether they are the way they manage or the way they lead, whether they use autocratic style or they use democratic style. So that also will affect the engagement, also will affect the performance of the organization. Number six is about skills. We need to make sure we have a lot of people or a lot of staff, but whether our staff have got the right skills, whether the skills that they have is still relevant. Probably we need to equip them, especially skills that is relevant to the strategy. Since our strategy, for example, moving towards digitalization as an example, so whether our staff are equipped with all digital transformation. If we are going towards into certain skill or certain new business, for example, whether our staff have got the right skills and the right knowledge and had the skills to deliver, to perform in the new business that the organization is trying to invest in or into to go in. Yeah. So these are the seven S. Yeah. And the last one is about shared values. I'm sure all organization here in this today, most of organization we have the what is called as shared values, nilai-nilai bersama. Yeah, what is the belief system that we have in the organization? For example, I think most organization will have like the values of integrity, the values of customer focus, the values of teamwork. Yeah? So what should be subscribed by everyone in the organization is called the shared values. So these seven areas or seven aspects will affect the organization performance, in terms of whether our organization will achieve the goal, our mission, our goal or not, will be reflective of the seven S. This is just one model. Of course, there's other model. You can have also like good to great model. You can also have other organizational. But I like to share for this morning specifically just one of the model is the seven S. So if you look at this seven S, there are also a lot of things that we can change. We can change the strategy. We can change the structure. We organization we are doing. We have a lot of organization to formulate new strategy, and then we do the the reorganization. Also, some of the aspect of the people side. So if you look at the green color is more on the people related. And if we talk about people related, one of the aspects about yeah. Is a shared values. What is shared values? So normally, this is what the shared values will be relevant or will be related to the organizational culture. Okay, because what? When we say organizational culture, what is culture? Can everybody just share what do you understand from the word organizational culture? What is organization means to you? Can you write down your current knowledge or current understanding about organizational culture? What is organizational culture means to you? Boleh kita share sikit what is your understanding, current understanding when you say organizational culture, what is organizational means to you? What is all about? Anybody? How employees expected to behave. Okay, good. Thank you, Aiman. So that's probably one of example. Nadia set of shared values. Yeah, probably organization have got set values. Okay. Company values that we have to adhere, practices of the organization. Good. Right. Okay, that's all what I call that. Okay, let's see whether what we have shared just now is relevant or aligned to the definition by the scholars, by the scholars about the concept of organizational culture. Okay, I'd like to share some of the definition given by the scholars on the organizational culture. Of course, the best in terms of the one of the authority to define anything is a dictionary. Let's look at one of the dictionary, the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Define agriculture as a set of shared values. Probably lebih bersama dengan Nadia. Your answer will be relevant, just similar to dictionary definition. A set of shared values, attitude, values, or goals or practices. Okay, some of you mentioned also about practices that characterize the institution or organization, meaning that that's one definition. Maybe other definition, we have some of culture is such publicly or collectively accepted meanings, operating for a given group at a given time. Okay, what else? What are other definition? Taken for granted values, underlying assumptions, expectation, memories. These are some of the example of the definition. A pattern of shared basic assumption learned by a group. Okay. So what we are saying here, of course, normally the values will become the basis for any culture to that we expect for the organization. But uh, we can have the values, but the most important, we cannot see the value. What is value? What is nilai? Eh? Values normally what we believe in. For example, we believe in teamwork, meaning that everybody believe that we have to work as a team. We believe in self-discipline. We believe that we understand and we believe we are committed about everybody understand and committed about maintain the self-discipline. We believe in professionalism, integrity. We believe that organization must maintain the level of integrity and to make sure that we comply to ethical standards and whatnot. So that's are the belief. But at the end of the day, the belief itself is not good enough for us to evaluate or to observe whether the values or the culture is already arise. So that's why, because if you look at the uh, more probably from a bigger perspective, culture can include what we can see and what we cannot see. Yeah. What we can see, probably we cannot see the understanding. We don't know whether people understand or not the mission and vision. Yes, yeah, we can do a survey, we can do assessment whether they understand what the our mission goals and other the values itself, what they believe. We don't know what they believe in. Yeah, everybody, if you're talking about more people in the organization, maybe we have uh, more understanding. They can have probably some of you, some of the staff in the organization, they believe a certain thing and we don't believe in certain thing. Some of the people probably they believe in order for us to work faster, they say that in order to go fast, work alone. Right? In order to go far, work together. So maybe some of them, because they say, oh, teamwork make things slower. So they believe, or I believe that we want to go faster, we have to not to work as a team lah. We have to work individually. So that's probably what is the belief. Yeah? So from the belief, yeah, what will happen? We can see the practice. We can see the behavior. We can see the approach, how they approach things. For example, if there is any problem, some of people believe I know better about this job or this problem. I'll do it myself. I'll handle this myself. But some of them, even though they know that they know how to solve this problem, but maybe because they believe in collaboration, they believe in the importance of teamwork. So then they approach the way they approach the certain problem is by having a lot of discussion, probably more participation of everybody, especially those are going to be affected by the problem. So when we talk about organizational culture, we are going to talk about the total practices, probably the common practices that have been practiced in the organization. For nowadays, people talk about, for example, like, okay, work from home. It can be a practices. It's a culture that how we do things here. Okay, probably some of you are practicing in terms of the self-managed work team, for example, in the context of manufacturing. So there are a lot of practices, there are behavior of the people, like for example, yeah, whether like this some organization they practice what we call as flexi hours. So some of you come very late, some of you come very early and go back very late or very early. So the most important at the end of the day, when we have this culture, when we have these behaviors, we can only observe the behavior. We can only know the culture by looking at the practices, looking at the behavior, and of course we can also evaluate. We can also try to assess the understanding, the belief. So these are the things that we have to look from a total perspective. So coming back to, in order for us to help organization to change and to perform better, yeah. So we have to remember that this practice and behavior and approach will affect, yeah, finally will affect the performance, the results, yeah, the result organization. Yeah. One of the challenge of organization is we need to properly define, yeah, what is our desired. Of course, we have, for example, values of teamwork. So the question is, what are the expected practice? What is the expected behavior? What is the expected approach that we want to see people behave, or the way we say, the way we behave. So in order for us to implement or to instill the core values and instill the culture in organization, we need to properly define. Yeah? As I said just now, for example, let's say we want people to work as a team. So how do we define? How do we uh, determine? So in the context of organizational change, so the first step is for us to really clarify, because sometimes everybody we have a different understanding of customer focus, understanding of integrity, understanding of certain values, yeah, in the content organization. So the question is, how do we define so that everybody will understand this culture, because culture is a collective, is a collective behaviors. What are most of the people be doing in the organization? But this is we need to have a definition. Yeah? This is one of the things that normally when you want to do culture transformation, we have to start with defining, clarifying, menjelaskan betul-betul what are the core value. Yeah, what are the definition? You say teamwork, probably okay. What division if we work and collaborate with each other, and what is the level of adoption or level of practice that you want to see? Yeah, some people never collaborate. Maybe some people they are very seldom, jarang-jarang. But piramid kata, and some people they always on the. So this is the level of practice. Yeah, that's probably you need to define before in order for you to do organizational culture change and more effectively. Okay, so now, say for example, let's say you want to do the culture transformation. Start with the example. Probably you want you to do the current assessment first. We want to see where you are at the moment. Yeah. So now you want to change. For example, probably you want people to be more collaborative, to have more or better teamwork in the contact organization. So the question is how to do it. Yeah. But before we go to the how to do it, let's look at some of the factors. Yeah. So sometimes we want to do or want to implement certain values, certain culture in organization. Then probably some of the culture or some of the values is very easy to be implemented, to be adopted, to be practiced in the employees or in the organization. But some are very, maybe they have some resistance. We have some resistance to adopt or to adapt to the new culture or the new of the things. Even for example, like in the past, we never hear of the work from home. So sometimes some people still believe we have to work from the office. Today I'm from home anyway. Okay, so point is, what are the factors that can affect why people behave in the way that they behave. We expect them to behave different at certain level using this definition, but sometimes they don't behave or they don't adopt or they subscribe to the culture organization. So in your opinion or based on your experience you see happening in your respective organization, uh, can you share some of the possible factors? So normally why, for example, say for example, some organizations are very particular or very strict about attendance, for example. They want to make sure everybody will be on time, very punctual. So but the question is sometimes some people still do not subscribe or still do not comply to the values, to the what I call that, the practice that we want. Or some are very, very open, they are very effective, they can implement. So based on your experience, what would be a possible reasons, possible factors why certain behavior or certain things that we want to inculcate in the organization uh, are not being adopted or being practiced. Can you share some of your personal, maybe personal experience? Probably you want to anybody like to give your opinion based on your knowledge or experience probably. Boleh bagilah seorang satu. Probably have 30 people here. Probably at least one. Everyone will get at least one and see whether uh, is the same to most other organizations. Okay, thank you, Aiman. Leaders, sometimes the leaders is the one that can whether make things happen or make things not happening. Okay, good. Thank you, man. Okay, what else? What else want to share? What else do you think the factors or the reasons why people behave in certain leaders type policies, system, or rewards? Okay, maybe we reward something, then people will do good. Okay, resist to change. Just resist to change. Why they resist to change? Okay, Kayi, why do you think people resist to change? Of course, they resist to change. Why they don't want to change? Why they want uh, to adopt new things? For example, nowadays, like for example, everybody have to go like people talk about AI, all those things. So people still want to go to the old way of doing things. So why? Fear, okay. Maybe they are fear of doing something. Maybe they are fear of losing jobs, or they fear of being scolded or being criticized by someone, maybe your team members or maybe customers. Good, good, right? What else? Apa lagi? By the way, okay, can also write in bahasa juga. Kalau if you are more comfortable in bahasa, boleh. If you okay, I can. Is it okay for me? To alright, okay, culture fit boleh, apa lagi? Stubborn, good. Ada memang, mana-mana organisation too hard to change old timer culture, because it's already, it's a die hard supporter. Dah macam tu dah, been like that all this while. So it's not easy op- to do a certain thing. Okay, thank you for sharing a lot of communication. Thank you, Deepa. There's so many reasons, of course. I think if you give you opportunity to list down the again, we're going to have maybe hundreds of reasons or hundred of possible factors lah, why change is very challenging, or it's very challenging for people to adopt a new behavior, adopt a new culture, in the organization. Okay, uh, but at the end of the day, if you look at most of the things that we have mentioned, that we listed here, probably we can cluster the factors into few factors lah. I think I can just try to summarize. The first one maybe because of the self attitude, like self fear, probably the reasons why maybe sometimes some people they don't have the right uh, knowledge in terms of the right skills, or probably they don't have the right attitude towards something. So number one is because of the self issue. Probably they have some inferior, some kind of feelings that being a victim, okay, because or they're afraid of change. So these are the factors are related to the people side. But sometimes the people want to change, people want to adopt new things. But the problem is the environment. Environment can be physical environment, can be the social environment. Physical means because of certain barriers they have, maybe because of the distance, or sometimes because of the social. Social here we're talking about the people around them. People around them. They want to, for example, okay, to change before they maybe. Take for example about punctuality. Before this, maybe they are not punctual, but want to instill the punctuality. So maybe the environment is people start maybe criticize. I'm not criticizing, or sometimes maybe you just talk about yeah, try this guy I want to try to show off, for example. So this environment is not conducive for the culture or for the behavior to happen. Sometimes the environment is okay, but the leaders, whether the leaders show a good role model or not. So we talk about punctuality is not you want to staff to be punctual, but the leaders are not punctual. So the leaders always can be or sometimes missing in action also. So that will reflect or that will communicate something to the people in the organization. Okay? Sometimes of some other people, maybe external people, can be internal people. It can also affect. So maybe they are influenced by people. They influence also by system. So whether we realize or not, a lot of behaviors, our daily life behavior also now have been changed by the system. by the the new policies that be introduced, by the new technology being introduced. Nowadays, we don't talk about work from home, we don't talk about online learning like this, yeah. But because of this, the system technologies change, then it affect the change. So sometimes when we introduce new system, straight away also it can affect so it can go both ways in terms of can change positively and negatively also because of the system. And some people, because of the system, they rebel, or probably because of the system, they reject the change. And organizational policies, organizational whether the organization really support. Like for example, you have the HR policies, reward system, where they we have the in terms of how we manage the consequence, performance management system, and the policies. So that's also will affect. So these are some of the factors. Uh, so based on these factors, and of course a lot more when we can discuss, as like I mentioned, probably in our normal course we can have this, we can group this, and finally we can summarize. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we need to do something to do change. To do change, we need to transform. We need to improve the culture in the region. And remember, when we talk about culture, the behaviors, the values is there, but however, when the people subscribe, whether the people behave in the way that we expect people to behave in the context of our core values. So what are the change management approach that we can use? And actually, uh, there are so many change management model, change management framework, change management methodology that we can use. I think some of you already been exposed. So, for example, in our normal training for today's, we're going to go to this one, each one of these in more detail. But for today, I'm not going to go into detail. So this is a Lewin model. When we talk about if you want to still change, there must be three phases. Must unfreeze, change, and then refreeze, meaning that we need make people want to change, and after that help them to change, and further that how to make change more consistent, more sustainable. This is one model. Another quite popular model is EDCA model. Talk about awareness, desire, knowledge, action, and reinforcement. Yeah. So EDCA model, they talk about if you want people to change an organizational culture, we need to have awareness, to give people awareness and create some desire, make people want to change, and provide them with knowledge, and provide them and help them to make action, to do action, and finally instill or develop something to make things more stick or reinforce the behavior that have been achieved. And another one quite popular is also in our normal 2 days training, we cover it more detail, is on this one also. You can just go to internet, you can go to we call that um, you can go to you go AI, you go to ChatGPT, for example, you can learn all this immediately, of course. So, so for today, for the next half an hour, I want to focus more on the 7 E's. This is because the 7 E's is closer to me, because this also I studied a lot of this model that have been I mean, available in the market, available by based on the prior other people's research. But my interest, since my interest also in the on these matters, so I created this 7E for organizational culture transformation model. Basically, it's a combination of all those I call that model to look at some of the 7 Is, we call it exemplary. There's 7 things need to be in place in order for change to happen, and happen sustainably. You want to have a lasting impact, lasting change. So I call it a 7 Is. Number one is about maybe just to make it easier. Number one is about exemplary leadership, meaning that in order for change to happen, of course, especially we talk about culture, must be led by the leaders. So if you are here a manager, head of department, like myself, also I have to example, I mean, have to be exemplary leader also, because people every day, our staff, our employees will look upon us. We look at us, yeah, as a living example of the core values. So whether we can actually live the in terms of the example being show real role model. What does it mean to talk about integrity? We talk about for customer focus. We talk about respect. Some of the core values that we have. But the most important, at the end of the day, people want to see whether our leaders, from the top to the even to the lower level of leaders like supervisors, also they need to demonstrate this behavior in their daily life. Okay, number two, we talk about education. Of course, the best in any model, any change management model, without education, without giving opportunity for people to learn, to understand, and also to perform, to provide them with the right skills. For example, we talk about recently we did a transformation program for one public listed company. We help them to come up with a strategy. So of course, one of the things we need to actually, they have seven also the core values. You have to go each one of the core values, look at what are the behaviors, and then what are the time of training program that we have to do to reinforce this one. Each core value, you have a different training. We talk about innovation, for example. Many companies nowadays have the innovation, the culture of innovation, but we only talk about it. We have some definition of what innovation, but whether we provide them with the right knowledge or skills on how to innovate, whether we train them, for example, on design thinking, to enable them to do this innovative, to apply or to implement it. You talk about customer focus. We do training on customer service, how to handle the customer in a more professional manner. Okay, right. Number three is about environment. Of course, we need to create a lot of, I mean, in terms of environment, in terms of, I said Islam, in terms of physical and also social environment. This is where we have the uh, social environment that we have to group on. Encouragement. We need to provide encouragement to the people. Enforcement. Uh, we have to enforce this behavior, meaning that if certain people or anybody not complying to the behavior, any action or any reprimand, any you call that the consequence management being provided, yeah, whether they are being not say punished, but sometimes in the context of our normal culture, let's say in our daily life culture, say for example, if let's say family culture, if certain members of the family not complying to certain culture of the family, yeah. Probably some organization, some family, they like, okay, everybody to always have dinner together. If are there certain people they don't want to comply to this, what are the action can be taken on them? Engineering talk about how do you want to make the change more sustainable. This is where we need to engineer our organization, engineer our system, to make sure that it's a facilitate and enable the new culture that we want to learn. And finally, we have to call that make sure that in order for change to happen, we need to go in terms of to also finally evaluate lah, evaluate. So I want to share some of the this one I want to go quickly on the some of the example of in how we want to implement these 7 E's in organization. Just give you example. I said just now, for example, as a leader, you need to show a good must set the culture. Leader must set the culture that you want. Of course, normally that's why the core values normally set by the top management. Top management need to establish what are the culture, be role model, communicate. So especially when you have a new staff, new employees, you need to communicate to the staff, to the employee, what are the expected behavior. And in our experience helping organization doing the change, organizational change management, without the support of the top management, the culture transformation will die. So this must be driven by the top, to support, because some of the change initiative have to be they have to be sponsored and to be supported by the top management. And at the lower level, the change leaders. So the supervisor, for example, they in everyday life they need to role model, but also they need to play the role as a to communicate, to lead these people, this stuff. Okay. Okay, for education, there's an example of the things that can be done. Yeah, we need to provide them with knowledge and skills relevant to each core value. Yeah? And then we also need to assess, see what are the current knowledge, whether current skills, whether they have the right skill, we have the right knowledge to deliver or to perform their respective core values. Yeah? And we have to give them a lot of opportunity in through formal or informal. Not formal can be through classroom learning or virtual classroom learning or any structured learning process, probably a proper briefing session, yeah? Or informal by maybe by sharing by the leaders or probably by sharing by the team members or by the colleagues or the co-workers in the respective organization. Okay. Environment, we talk about creating the conducive and sustainable environment in terms of the. So one of the things that we propose most of the organization in order for us to create change, especially the culture change, probably we can create some of the small group we call CAT Change Action Team. So normally, for example, let's say we talk about want to establish the culture of innovation. I think you remember those days, and nowadays we still those days we talk about the QCC. Yeah? QCC is a good example of how organization introduce this culture of improvement. Yeah? Because QCC, quality circle, control circle, they talk about they do a lot of projects, they do a lot of activities. So they create the group that can help to implement. So if you have also other values, also, like, for example, like innovation, or we have a customer focus. How do we create change, or we create team that can help to make the practice of the behaviors in a more effective manner? Yeah? Or we can have environment like a poster on the wall. I call it Powell. Powell. We have a lot of. I think I'm sure in the organization you have like values on the core values, pictures or core values posters in the on the wall. Yeah. But we can also have certain things, not just the core values poster by the listing, but also some definition, so that everybody can have this education in a more effective manner. Yeah? Okay. Um, Encouragement, we talk about, it can include like reward. I think some of you mentioned about sometimes if you get rewarded, then there'll be more repeated behavior will happen. Yeah. Certain incentive that is very effective. For example, innovation. So we can have incentive for those who have more or the most number of new ideas. They can just give ideas. It doesn't mean it's all implemented, but at least you want to promote this behavior of innovation. Eh? Or if you have certain people, you have the most collaborative person in of the mind. Yeah, you can have that in the context of the organization. Okay, and of course the role of leaders to give encouragement, to give them to inspire the staff. Uh, okay, and I mentioned about consequence in terms of the enforcement, just like a lot of things in organization, just like in our life also. When there's no enforcement, there's no behavior, there's no culture. So we want to establish a good driving culture. We need to have enforcement by JPJ or by the police. So what happened? What do you have to do? We have to give proper warning, for example, consequence of non-compliance. Yeah. Then we need to monitor. Normally, enforcement is so about surveillance. We have to observe what is happening, and of course, most important is to reprimand for those who are not complying. And here we have to have some principles, meaning that we have to be very fair. So if you reprimand someone who are not complying to certain behavior, we have to also to make sure that you reprimand others who are the same. So we cannot just being favoritism here. So if you start to play favoritism, then your investment is not going to be effective. Thus, your behavior, your culture change also will be affected. Okay. Uh, Okay, engineering talk about design, about the organization. Normally, how we design should be the structure also will affect how we design the system. Certain systems, certain tools must be enabled. We talk about, let's say, for example, nowadays now government started the work from home. So what are the policies, the tools that can help to make people easy to work from home? Sometimes they have all the files, all their the desktop. They don't have the laptop. So how to help them, to work? Remember during the COVID time, the PKP time, MCO. So this is the challenge is engineering problems, engineering solution. So that's why probably we are not able to get. So at the end of the day, the engineering is about how you want to institutionalize, how you want to institutionalize, how you want to make sure that the uh, the behaviors, will be continuing, will be continue in terms of the consistently after, for example, nowadays we have a lot of training, for example, after training, but after training, maybe 1 or 2 days, the behavior dies already. They go to team building program, come back, the same. They go to customer service program, come back, still the same. So because there's no reinforcement by the organization or by the policies or by the tools, by the system. So because of that, uh, the objective of the change organization or culture change is not successful. Right. And most important also is to get everyone involved in the process of designing the new system is also very important and very good because they can give proper feedback or proper requirements, the needs that they have. And because sometimes people at that level or people at certain level, especially the users, because they will know better what they need, what are the challenge that they face, so that whatever system, the tools that we're going to introduce will be relevant in the and suitable to their respective unit or respective organization. And lastly, about evaluation. So this is an example, some of the things of the in order for us to create and to enhance the organizational culture in more effective manner. Finally, we need to measure, we need to evaluate the progress and also the success. So how much and how far the behavior or the values have been adopted by the people in organization, what are the challenges that they face. So we need to identify further, and what are the solution that we can do to improve the situation. So this is the last thing because after that, then if we don't do any evaluation, we don't improve, then this effort to implement the change or the new culture will not be successful. So any success, any achievement based on the evaluation or based on the assessment, so then we probably can give feedback, and probably we can celebrate. Maybe you can have like milestone celebration to when we achieve or we manage to improve our organizational culture from time to time, and from there we can celebrate and also we can reward certain people probably that have improved a lot, maybe for the past 6 months or past 1 year. Then we can give some award, or for example, to those who have been successfully implementing the culture, the new culture in the organization. Okay. And then we also recommend that finally the core values is to be incorporated in the performance management system, so that the staff is aware that finally their behavior also will be evaluated apart from just the KPI achievement or maybe other behaviors that we expect from our employees. So they know that if they do regular performance management, performance appraisal, for example, maybe we have the midterm or maybe a quarterly review, so they are aware of they behave in the way that is expected from our core values definition, and how we can help them to improve further, for that, for eventually, inshallah, we can achieve our desired result. So I think I like to probably conclude here before we open for any question, and for discussion lah. Sorry, I speed up a little bit because I look at the time. So I want to make sure that we have enough time for the discussion. Um, Number one, just a conclusion that for change, number one, for organization to achieve a better result, of course, we need to do some change and transformation. So, and we talked today about the seven areas or seven S, McKinsey 7S, the areas of change that you can do, all the things that to be changed. But when you change your strategy, you change your name, of course, it also affect other 7S. Yeah. So one of the thing, of course, is about organizational culture. Yeah. Number two, we know that change should not be treated as a project. Of course, like in our experience when we do the change management project, of course, we have to treat as a project, but as a from organization point of view, you should not treat it as a project. It's like a journey, it's ongoing things. There's a process that you need to properly do in order to implement or to do change in a more effective and professional manner. And number three, uh, so all the journey, I mean, when we talk about journey or any journey that we have to go through in order to be successful, we need to we need to manage properly. Meaning that we have to, when I say we have to manage, we have to plan, we have to organize, we need to properly do the implementation. We need to also to track and control, to monitor the implementation, and we achieve the results. Yeah. I just want to share some of the real example or real things that we been doing for the last I mean over years in terms of the culture and also change management. Currently, also we are doing some projects with a government, a big government organization doing the change management, and also we have another client. We are doing the culture. The first one, the government we do because they are doing the digital transformation. We coming and more on the change management consultant. The other one is a real culture transformation because they have just done really the blueprint for new strategy blueprint. So we come in to help them to support their new culture transformation. So when we say that we have to manage the journey, and it's not a project because it's ongoing. This is our normal sample of how we do the culture change. We have a 5 phase storm from the analysis. Before you start your culture transformation, you have to start with your journey, your analysis. Your first journey start with analysis. You have to understand your requirements, like what I mentioned. You have to define properly what is the desired culture, what are the current state, what are the culture that is currently. How do you assess? You need to assess properly. Yeah. Then you need to see some of the possible impact, the readiness, whether people are ready to change, to adopt new things. What are the areas of change? Number two, you need to provide the blueprint in terms of the change management. How are you going to incorporate the seven is model into this change management plan? For example, if like I said, for training, for education, what are the the areas need to do? And then we need to develop, normally we have to properly develop the communication plan, the training plan, some of the things they need to improve, for example, certain policies that be not supporting the new culture. Maybe we need to some improvement to the new policies and have to implement. We talk about communication, we talk about training, we talk about system implementation, and finally about evaluate. So these like ongoing things that you have to do in order for you to implement the 7 E's model in a more effective manner. And um, so normally this is just an example that we have done in terms of provide them the blueprint, also the project. Okay, I think we have about 20 minutes to go. I like to open this to the, but before that, I just want to share the program that we are going to conduct next 2 months in September. It's a more detailed approach to the 7 E's implementation. We're going to, it's more like workshop based lah. This one is more workshop based. You can bring in example of your own respective change, I call that desired change you want to do. Then how we try to implement the 7 is model using our implementation framework, then we can help them to implement. I think so. Before I close, I think I like to open for any uh, question or any probably sharing that you want to do from your respective, maybe lessons learned from your organization, from your that you like to share in our group today. Yes, so silakan. Anybody like to share anything or want to ask any question? Uh, you can write, or you can also you can speak out lah using the microphone. So anybody like to ask any question or like to share anything? Probably your lessons then. Okay, probably um, I have shared the 7 E's model. How much you think that is applicable in the your respective organization? You like to share, or maybe your organization already done some change or currently doing some change, culture change program. You like to share your how you implement or your approach. Okay, please everybody. Anybody like to share? Silakan. Boleh share your experience, your knowledge. So let's treat this as a is a two-way, or is a sharing also. Yeah, a sharing session. Um, Silakan. Anybody? Or already have got any question? If you have any maybe personal question or something that probably you want to discuss directly with me, I leave here my contact number, WhatsApp number 0192167198. You can contact me directly lah if you want to know more about the 7 E's model or anything about change management. Uh, so so for today, for this training program that we're going to do in September, it's like I said, it's more very uh, it's highly practical based because it's a workshop. It's a workshop. Okay, all right. We have one feedback from Carl. When change is managed effectively, the transition will be smooth. Yeah, I agree. Of course, people say that fail to plan is planning to fail, right? Fail to plan is planning to fail. So meaning that if we don't plan, if we don't manage, of course, we are going to fail. But if we manage, of course, there's high chance. Always talk about high chance and our higher probability of success. Higher probability of success. But still, that because when we plan and we do a proper planning, that sometimes we don't do a proper or deeper analysis or of the requirement or situation. So our plan might not be right, but okay, we don't have to wait for any perfect plan. We don't have to wait any perfect plan. So our experience, of course, the first part of our when we talk about this, let me see, let me check this one. For example, normally, to do up to level phase 3 is easier. Yeah, is easier compared to phase 4. Phase 4 is the most challenging. Actually, you want to do the implementation because this, for example, we identify the training that need to be in place to be conducted for change to happen. But the problem is about people could not come for training, formal training lah. We're talking about classroom training. So that's why we need to change a little bit. Probably we have to build a lot of like the one that we're working with our client at the moment. They have like we put some videos, we put some of other informal of learning methodology. Uh, to support, and to ensure. At the end of the day, the question is about or the purpose is about educating to make people understand and to equip them the right skills. Okay, thank you, Kyle, for sharing. Anybody else want to share anything about your experience about culture change, your probably your organizational challenge that you face currently in implementing the culture change in your respective organization? For today, we are more focused on the organizational culture, organizational culture change. But of course, there are other perspective of change, like I mentioned just now. Contohnya, for example, is about the system that now most organizations trying to implement new system, new technology. Yeah, so that's also another aspect of change. Also, we something similar, but we need to we call that the process, probably the content of the plan was be different. For example, we used to be like government, Malaysia, back in this one talking about 20 years ago, government of Malaysia, I'm not sure if anybody from government of Malaysia, we were involved in the HRMIS. Government of Malaysia was developing the HRMI system back in 2000, the year 2000, 1990. So I was involved in this project. It's a very massive project because we want to change the whole government. The system, the HRMI system, is going to be implemented throughout the whole government of Malaysia, including the federal, the state department and agencies. Yeah. So imagine that that time, but there was about 700 agencies, government agencies. So how to make this project successful? It's a system. It's under the EG project at that time. So of course, at that time, we will have to be for that project. We have to work with the big guys lah. So we partner with the international consultant at the time, Arthur Anderson. So they are the one that being like for the consultant, we are part of the team. Also, we are the technology recipient to learn more how about the culture change, how to do about the change management. So at that time, we were talking about to revamp the whole HR system and implement it the whole throughout the whole government. So it's very challenging. So I mean that because of that, when we talk about implementing the system, the technology is just not about training. It's about training. It's all about other things. Like in government, especially, there are a lot about we have to change the policies. We have to change certain to ensure the infrastructure is strong, is good. At that time, we talk about when people outside of Putrajaya want to access the system that is being parked in Putrajaya. So there are a lot of challenges. There are a lot of challenges, not because the system is not good, but because of the infrastructure was not supporting at that time. At that time, that this is talking about back in 20 years ago. And until now, government still using the HRMI system that was developed by our company at that time, our MMCSB. And you just now, our Macdam mentioned about one of the company. Okay. So that was the challenge. It's a different apa ni? Okay, Kayi, this question, so is there a prerequisite condition for a culture change to take place? Yeah, I think what we've been talking about 7 is about condition. Uh, there's a condition for behavior because the culture change, we're talking about behavioral change. So the condition is about the 7 is. Yeah. So to me, if you ask me about the prerequisite, is if we can get those 7 is in place, there's a higher probability that that behavior will happen. Yeah. So that have to be. So when we do our analysis, we need also to look at whether the 7 is already supporting the culture, the behavior. So if you currently already have your culture, your core values, for example, so you need to define. Remember that I show you today about example of the definition of the culture for your respective culture. So you need to define the culture that you want to establish. Then from there, we need to, for example, we need to study and define. We really have to do the first level of analysis, level of practice. How much people already practicing this, call that the culture. Then we need to identify uh, what are the seven is already supporting in this or not. Yeah. So that if you ask me, this is my humble perspective or humble opinion. The prerequisite is about the seven is actually that's it. Yeah. So I actually I did some also some reading on the various journals done in terms of the studies that have been done on this matter by PhD students and whatnot. So at the end of the day, when we do the correlation analysis and whatnot, so then we can see the behavioral change. There's a correlation with all the seven E's that we are talking. So uh, to answer that the question, in my opinion, yes, the prerequisite is we're talking about seven is, but of course, there's another level of we call that the precondition. For example, you want to do training, we have to make sure we have enough. We have the right trainer. Those are another level. That one normally we talk about during the implementation stage lah. You have to have, for example, you need to train your change leaders or your change action team on how to implement, but who is going to train to conduct the training? So is it change agent or is it like your HR or we can appoint? So those are the things lah. Okay, next question. Oh, we have a few questions more. Okay, about okay, I missed one question from Jack Lee. Jack Lee. How do you handle those hantu? Is it hantu? Those ringleader. Okay. That's why the first, to me, the first thing first, meaning that you want to do any culture change, you have to start with the leader. So my experience in many organizations, as one organization that we do, I start with we bring all the top management also for this training. Let them formulate this behavioral indicator whatnot, rather than I mean, because we want them to number one, they need to crystallize the core values, and number two, they need to what we call that this to define what are the values that they want, and this is number one. Number two, of course, every leader they've got a leader above them. So if you're talking about leader number one, also is not behaving in the right way, maybe there's something wrong somewhere lah. So it's not going to happen. If they do the core values just for the sake of having the list of core values, but the behavior of the top management, the leaders, is not a role model, then we're going to have. So what to do if they cannot change? This is if we try to do the same thing for the leader, enforcement also need to be done to the leaders also if they are not complying. To me, and that's my opinion lah. But of course, easier said than done. Also need the support, and the political will must be strong also at the top level, because it's not HR issue. It's not the most misconception is that organization culture is driven by HR. HR cannot be the driver. The driver must be the management. HR is the supporter, the facilitator, to ensure that change can happen. Otherwise, if you leave everything to HR, then it's not going to be effective lah. Maybe some change can happen, training will do, but the other things that you need to implement will require management intervention. Okay. Okay. Openness culture. I think if we can be more specific, what is openness culture? Um, we have a recent experience. We have the one organization. Of course, this openness is sometimes is part of, sometimes is really part of the behavior expected in like another core values. Example in teamwork. Sometimes we define this openness in the context of behavioral expectation for the teamwork. Um, so if you're talking about openness in terms of getting this criticism, yeah, I don't have direct experience in the context of, but I still remember when this is my little experience also. Back in 2000 something, we were engaged by Petronas at that time Petronas Permata they call it, Petronas Training Center. But we are involved in the what is called that mindset change program. Yeah, it's similar like culture change also, where they want to implement because they have got the core values. Petronas have got the core value at that time, they call CLIP, but later they have another they call CMOV, courage, meaning, yeah, ownership and value. That was the sort of a mindset, they call mindset. But it says very similar because the CMOV have to be translated into behavior and eventually need to be cascading to all the staff or throughout the whole of Petronas. Yeah? So one of the item in the we call that this CMOV is about uh, courage. Yeah? Courage meaning that you'll be willing to go. I mean, to not doesn't have a fear to like give feedback and whatnot. So of course, this is like at that time our involvement is merely on the training part, on the education part, because we designed the program for that particular CMOV. Because the whole change management was done at the higher level at the corporate. If I'm not mistaken, it was done by McKinsey lah at the time for Petronas. They can afford that. So that is so again, we need to expect to define the properly the expected behaviors and what are the training. So if you're talking about being constructive, people are willing or people are open to, number one, about to give feedback. Number two, people who receive feedback are also open to accept feedback. So this is where we need to, of course, it's about one of the thing about how to, if I have to give training on how to give effective feedback or professional feedback. Sometimes people are not accepting the change or the feedback, not because the feedback is probably just the how, the approach. That's why I said culture. How we give criticism, how we give constructive. We call it constructive, but sometimes people will perceive it more like criticism. This is where the training on there are a lot of training that's relevant to that. Like for example, the one of the quite popular training, I think, difficult conversation, how to uh, converse, conversation, how to converse, how to talk with people, to give feedback, especially the negative in the negative manner. So that's example of training lah. Kalau kita tengok from one example. Yeah. Um, but the rest is about we need to. I just another case, a real case because we just finished one program for another client on this instilling culture programs. Just a weekend, few days ago, we have a team building program to introduce a new culture. So without telling them what to do, at the end of the day, they are the one during the action planning. They are the one that state in terms of what need to be done in order to instill this culture of, for example, we are talking about culture of collaboration. Yeah. So you want to collaborate well, what are the things that need to be in place? So one of the things that appear in that we call that discussion on action planning is about we have to be, because the one attending about 100 plus, including at all levels, including the top management. So they are together in that time. So they are be giving the open feedback, open we call it suggestion on what are the areas need to be done, including there some of the stuff even suggestion of what need to be done what the leaders should do also to help this culture to be in place in the organization. Yeah. Okay, I think we are already 11 o'clock. On behalf of Ishak, I think I'd like to thank everyone for your participation today, and I hope whatever that we have shared will be beneficial to everyone, inshallah. Yeah? And we wish that we can meet again in the future. So if you want to attend the workshop that we're going to do in September, please can communicate. And also, please forgive me for any mungkin mistake ke ataupun slip of tongue ke whatever dalam discussion ni. So I pass back to our MC.
Alright. Terima kasih kepada Tuan Haji Ahmad Raji. Okey, tuan-puan sekalian, selesai sudah kita punya perkongsian pada pagi ini. Mari kita berikan tepukan yang gemuruh satu ucapan terima kasih kepada Tuan Haji Ahmad Raji atas info yang telah dikongsikan tadi. Semoga apa yang dikongsikan memberi manfaat kepada kita semua. Uh, dan sebelum tu saya ada sedikit reminder. Okey, sekejap saya akan share skrin saya sekejap. Okey, jadi sedikit reminder untuk peserta-peserta pagi ini. Uh, Jangan lupa untuk membuat penilaian TEE di portal NTW. Ini untuk tuan-tuan puan-puan dapatkan sertifikat penyertaan untuk pagi ni lah. Jadi dekat slide ni ada kita punya contoh. Uh, just buka je kita punya NTW portal dan tekan bahagian khusus disertai dan boleh terus membuat penilaian TEE dekat situ lah. Okey, jadi tadi saya ada mention berkenaan dengan surprise yang kita akan bagi dekat semua partisipan yang telah join sesi kita pagi ni. Jadi inilah yang kita ingin bagi tahu kepada semua peserta pagi ini. Bagi peserta khusus 7E for Culture Transformation pagi ini, kami ingin menawarkan diskaun eksklusif sebanyak 10% bagi semua khusus awam Irsyad yang tersenarai dalam kalender untuk kalender latihan 2026. Jadi untuk dapatkan tawaran kursus ni, untuk dapatkan tawaran diskaun ni, tuan-puan hanya perlu imbas QR code yang saya paparkan dekat saya punya slide dan isi borang yang kami telah sediakan. Jadi tawaran ni hanya sah sehingga 31 Disember 2026. Jadi basically hanya untuk tahun ni je lah. Okay. Jadi boleh imbas dulu QR code yang telah saya siarkan dekat slide saya ni dan boleh terus isilah. Okey, dan jangan risau, saya akan kongsikan juga nanti dekat yang mana yang terlepas nanti sebab saya nak teruskan pada slide seterusnya. Okey, ini merupakan our upcoming public courses. Ini untuk bulan Ogos lah. Okey, antara kita punya kursus awam ini untuk bulan Ogos. Seterusnya ini untuk bulan September. Okey, tuan-tuan perempuan boleh screenshot ya kalau takut terlepas. Okey, ini untuk bulan September. Dan seterusnya ini adalah khusus untuk bulan Oktober lah. Jadi semua khusus yang saya telah paparkan ni, anda, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan semua layak untuk dapatkan diskaun sebanyak 10% tu ya. Jadi seterusnya kami juga amat menghargailah sekiranya tuan-tuan dan puan-puan dapat memberikan ulasan kepada Irsyad Consulting di Google. Jadi untuk memberikan ulasan di Google, tuan-tuan puan-puan boleh scan sahaja QR yang telah saya paparkan dekat saya punya slide dan tinggalkan sedikit feedback lah. Feedback terhadap kita punya sesi pagi ini. Sebab maklum balas daripada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan ni sangat penting untuk membantu kami untuk terus menambah baik kami punya program yang kami sediakan. Jadi saya rasa setakat itu sahaja perkongsian ringkas daripada pihak kami. Sekali lagi terima kasih kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan kerana menyertai program NTW 2026 7E for Culture Transformation pada pagi ini. Kami berharap anda semua telah mendapat pengalaman pembelajaran yang menyeronokkan, interaktif dan juga bermanfaat sepanjang sesi ini. Jadi sekian sahaja daripada pihak kami. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan terima kasih semua.
Thank you, everyone.